Welcome to the Raider Sports Report. I am your host, Ben Diggle. Joining me this week, two of the three coaches that will be joining us throughout the winter. We're at 2 out of 3, 66% ain't bad.
67.
67 if you round, sure. I don't round, man. I always go lower. I don't want these kids getting, overconfident and getting something they didn't earn.
Sure.
I'm sorry.
Sure.
So, 66%. Joining me, Matt Wright, our head boys basketball coach, and for the first time, Jay Bowman, our head girls basketball coach. Thrilled to have you both along. Exciting week of games last week. Jay, let's start with you. Pulled off a nice win Friday night against a very good Metamora team. Talk a little bit about that game.
Came out a little slow, a little flat. Played, I wouldn't say our best game. Played ugly, but it was nice to play ugly and sneak out a win. Last year, if we would have come out that flat, we probably wouldn't have won that game. So, things are headed in the right direction. So that was encouraging. Our girls kept battling and just making enough plays to stay in the game. And then when they needed to make a few big ones right down the stretch, we had some individuals step up and make some huge plays for us. So it was encouraging to play bad but still sneak out that win.
And that to me is a sign of a team that is moving definitely in the right direction and learning how to win even when you don't play your best. That's got to be an encouraging thing as a coach.
Yeah, and like I said, it was they knew they weren't playing well, but they didn't hang their heads. In the past, some of them might have gotten discouraged and started hanging their heads and compounded some of the mistakes. But they kept their heads up. They kept, scratching and clawing and hanging in there. And then down the stretch, made a few big plays to put us ahead. I think we took our first lead, couple minutes left in the game, and then final lead with 6 seconds left. And hey, when we got the lead with 6 seconds left, I'm happy. I'd rather have it then than at the beginning. So.
All right. Well, obviously the game winner in that made by Nicole Montgomery. Talk a little bit about the second half she had as it just came out on fire. I mean, eight quick points there to open the second half, and she was off and rolling.
Yeah, we talked to her about they were kind of sagging off a little bit, and we kept telling her, encouraging her, attack the rim, under control, and she did that, and she was getting some good looks, but she was going up strong, accepting contact well, and put most of those shots in, and she had a monster second half that really put us back in the ball game. She rebounded the ball, hit the offensive glass, and
I think
sometimes
she finished like 8 boards too.
8 rebounds,
14 points and 8 boards. Or
16 points,
yeah.
And about 8 rebounds. So just an all-round game. But she's been steady all year. I mean, she knows what her strengths are, and she plays to those strengths very well.
And talk a little bit about Nicole's role, not only as someone who can take over a game like that, but as one of your few seniors, somebody that those girls are going to have to lean on for a little bit of leadership too, and her role in that.
She's just very steady. Like, she knows what her strengths are, and she plays within her strengths. And so, when she's on the court, she just kind of has a calming influence, and that's just kind of her personality too. She just never gets rattled, never gets frustrated, just steady, even keel, no emotion, and it rubs off on the rest of us. When things aren't going well and there's a tendency to maybe panic, that calming influence that settles everyone down, and everyone kind of feeds off that. So. In that aspect, it's good leadership, just kind of not vocal leader, but lead by example on the court. Just stays calm, plays within herself. So.
Okay. All right. Well, that's enough from Coach Bowman from now. Coach, you played twice last week. Went to Metamora Friday night, to Canton or at home against Canton on Saturday night, and I think all of us who saw that Friday night game and that Saturday night game can agree it was really a tale of two different teams.
There's no other way to describe it, really. I mean, we came out that Friday night against Metamora, and really we started out playing pretty well in terms of moving the ball, being organized, being a little bit scrappy. Really what hurt us early in that game was that we didn't end every defensive possession with a defensive rebound. Gave up too many offensive rebounds there early, and then it just kind of gave them some extra possessions, especially early in the game. But we were up there ending the first quarter, and then all of a sudden they obviously saw that something needed to change, threw on their press and got us sped up a little bit, and that's kind of game just got a little bit away from us. But clearly on Saturday night, I thought the boys responded really well did a tremendous job against a team in Canton that had actually beat Metamora.
And I think that was one of the more surprising aspects of that game is here you've got a Canton team that at full strength, beat Metamora 82-79 in overtime, and if you're looking at what might happen coming off that Metamora game, I'm sure people went to Allison Gym Saturday night kind of, maybe expecting a repeat performance.
Sure.
How or I guess what did you do to turn those kids around on such short notice? To kind of put that game behind them and go again. Is it beneficial, I guess, to do that?
Oh, absolutely. And I'd say that the biggest thing is that our guys, we just have too much pride to let that happen over and over and over again. And we just talked about all the little things that make a big difference. I've said it time and time again throughout the preseason here and the beginning of the season. We have the athletes and the individuals that we're going to be able to compete. We just got to get it to all come together. And really, after the Metamora game, we talked about all kinds of just little small things that are going to make a huge difference throughout the course of that game. And then came back on Saturday and watched a lot of film, addressed some things in shoot around and said, we say in our press breaker we're supposed to screen this spot. Are we really doing that? And then we just showed the evidence to the kids of what we were and weren't doing. And there were some good things that we did on Friday night, especially early in the game. The one thing from Friday night's game that I was disappointed with our guys was that I thought we quit playing hard. And to me, that's just unacceptable.
Never an excuse for that.
And it was just never during the season have I been embarrassed by our guys, but I was really disappointed when we didn't keep playing hard on Friday night. So we addressed that, obviously, Friday night, and then just talked about if we want to do this thing and do it right and get it turned around, the effort's got to be at a maximum level all the time. And I think that you saw that coming out on Saturday night with the effort that we had.
And I think that effort was most prevalent on the defensive end. It seemed like the kids came out really, really high intensity on the defensive end against a Canton team that had put up a lot of points. I think they were averaging like 67 or 70 a game, coming in. It was a very high total.
Yeah, they're up there, and they really want to push the tempo. So one of the things that we talked about doing was slowing their transition game, which we did not do a great job of early in the game, but then we just kind of made a few adjustments, came in and out of our press, in and out of some trapping situations, just to kind of change the complexion of that game, and a testament to our guys to find just a terrific scorer in Hunter Rhodes.
Came in averaging over 19 a game, and you guys did a great job of shutting him down.
Yep.
Granted, might have been slowed down a little bit by the flu, but nonetheless, he's still dangerous, and I think other than him getting open for 1-3 in the corner there, I think that was about all the damage he did.
Yeah, and he was playing a little bit tentatively, but part of that too was a testament to what the guys were doing.
You were switching defenses so often, he didn't know what he was going to get every time down.
Yeah, and he's a good player, no doubt about it, and that kid can fill it up. But they did a good job finding him. We talked all week about finding shooters because Metamora's got 3 of them you got to cover, and Canton's got 3 of them you got to cover. And they did do a really excellent job of taking them out of the transition game and then finding those shooters.
So coming off for the boys this week, 68-38 loss to Metamora Friday night, 47-42 to Canton.
Really controlled that most of the way.
And for we were talking in the post game, Matt and I were for 30 out of a possible 32 minutes. You guys controlled that game. Every aspect of it, whether offensively, defensively.
Yeah.
Running out of bounds plays. Really impressive effort. I came away very impressed by what I had seen in a short time, improvement-wise.
Yeah, and I was pleased with the guys too. And really, as we gain more experience, we just keep saying, when you don't get what you want, experience is what you get. And so obviously we didn't want to lose that game, but we gained some pretty valuable experience. And then late in that game, we had guys that stepped up and hit shots. You had Mitch Ganem hit a 3 late, and Sean Mulhern hit a 3 late, and we had another great look towards the end of that game, and we just didn't get over that hump. But we're getting there for sure, and we keep talking about getting better every single time that we're out, and Saturday was a big step forward for us for sure.
Okay. Looking ahead now this week, guys, Jay, let's look to you. 2 games this week, go to Canton tomorrow night.
Yep.
And then 2 Limestone on Saturday. Talk a little bit about, particularly in that Canton case, I believe they're 9-1 now and sitting at the top of the conference?
They're playing well, and I always talk to their coach and say, how do you do it? Because even when he doesn't have the most talented teams, he gets them to play extremely hard and extremely physical. And he claims that that's just how they're brought up, but I'm like, no, he does something, and he gets them to go very hard and very physical. And that's something in the past that has bothered us, physicality, a little bit. But this year we've done it better with it. My posts are getting a little bit more physical. My guards are handling contact a little better.
I have to say, we talked about Courtney Potendike early last week, and you talked about how against Washington, she was moving through traffic, snapping down rebounds. I saw some of that Friday night. You're right. She's beginning to get much more comfortable.
She likes contact, and she's playing very physical and hitting the boards pretty aggressively. And even some of my guards, last year if we got bumped off the play, and it frustrated us, and we're pushing through that a little bit. So, but it'll be a huge test tomorrow because and they know, and they've said it at practice today, and I keep reminding them, this will be the most physical team we've played this year. They're gonna get up on you. They're gonna hand check you. They're gonna try to dictate where you go, and you just can't allow that to happen. You've got to stay within the realm of what we're trying to do. Yeah. So we tried to emulate it as practice as best we can, and they did a pretty good job of it tonight and Saturday. But we'll see if we're ready tomorrow. But it'll be a big test for us. They're a much improved team from last year.
And then talk a little bit about the challenge that Saturday presents. For those of you that don't know, the Limestone head basketball coach there is Kevin Metzger, who was Jay's coach when he played here at East Peoria.
Long before the gray hair.
I've got him going through the archives right now. Mark is going to find me something incriminating eventually, all right?
All right.
Whether it's you winning the dance-off, I don't care. We will have embarrassing video before this year is out. But talk a little about the challenge presented by facing your old coach.
It's fun, actually. I mean, I still talk with him and every time we see him, and he helps us out, and we help him out, but there's no surprises. My assistant coach played for him too, Jim Vershaw, so we all know him real well, and he doesn't surprise us with anything. In fact, a lot of what he yells, it's like, oh yeah, I remember that. But the thing is I don't think he surprises many with what he does, but what he does very well. I mean, they run their system very well, so even though we know what to expect, we know what defense they're going to be in, it's still a challenge because they do it better than anybody else we face. He runs two types of zones, and he runs them as good as anybody that we play against. So there's one thing in knowing what they're doing, but it's also there's the other thing in being able to execute and take advantage of it. So, but as far as challenge, I think it's fun. He got me twice last year, and he lets me know. So hopefully this year we'll turn the table on him a little bit, and I'd like to see him in the off season and be able to let him know that we got him this year. So looking forward to it.
Outstanding. Now, Matt, you're in kind of an interesting situation. Mm-hmm. You have almost 2 weeks off.
Yeah, we got 9 practices. So.
Do you take this almost as, in some cases you see, football teams with the bye week and whatnot, especially early on, treat this as, almost like a second preseason? Mm-hmm. Is that kind of the attitude you're taking, or is there just minor tweaks? How do you approach this long break?
I'd say that we definitely are handling it almost like a second preseason. We originally were supposed to play Limestone on this Friday night, but it got moved with the Galesburg tournament, so that just freed us up for an entire week. We're going to install some more things, and we're in the infancy of our basketball program. We're, hardly have been together for 2 months, really. And so for us, there's so much information left to cover. Primarily, we've played nothing but zone, and we've run 1 or 2 offensive sets, run 1 or 2 end line out of bounds plays, 1 or 2 sideline plays. Hopefully, by the time you see us play next Friday, you're going to see not only what we did improve, but we're also going to pepper in some new offensive actions and some new defensive concepts and things along those lines. So we are definitely, over the course of the next 9 days, looking to come out of it with more weapons than what we've got right now.
Given how you played Saturday night, are you a little worried maybe that you don't get another chance to implement or make that next step, or do you just kind of roll with it and say, hey, we took a good step, let's see what we can do now at the break?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just keeping that mentality the same in terms of we took a forward step. We didn't win a game. Sure. We didn't win the game, but we took a forward step. if we use these next 9 days the way that they need to be used, then on Friday the 21st, when we get up against Dunlap, then we fully expect to take that next step and put a W on the board. I think the paper said it was 20 consecutive, and we got to put an end to that streak. I mean, we got too much pride, and we worked too hard to have that streak continue. So that's something that there's always little motivational things that we use throughout the course of practice and everything else, but certainly using last game as a stepping stone and not being happy with, hey, we were in a game there.
Sure, sure. Well, that's a look ahead at the boys and girls basketball. Girls basketball on the road twice this week. Tomorrow night at Canton, Tuesday night at Canton, I should say. Saturday afternoon, pardon me. That's a 12:30 start at Limestone. The boys are off till next Friday, the 21st. I do want to let everybody know on Thursday, the boys wrestling team will play host to Washington. Washington comes in as a team ranked 7th in the state. We did beat them last year at their place, so they're going to be out for revenge. Coach Johns is talking this one up. Just found out this week that Lucas Joseph is ranked not only number 1 in the state of Illinois in his weight class, but number 17 in the country. So some great talent. I believe Casey McWhorter's also ranked, and there's one other young man maybe.
Is it Cade? No.
Yeah, Cade.
Cade.
Is also Cade McDonald, also state ranked. So some tremendous talent. It's going to be a very good time Thursday night. Hope everybody comes out and supports the wrestlers. They've certainly earned it by surviving those intense practices that Coach Johns puts on. If you can make it through those, you're doing something right.
Yes, you are.
Gentlemen, to end our segment tonight, we used to do an Ask Coach Martin, but I'm going to pose you guys a question that was given to me today in class, and I had to ponder this one because it's very different. No, it was actually a pretty standard question, but there's a lot of different options. Favorite holiday treat you're looking forward to? Now, I was in a room yesterday for 5 hours with all different kinds of Christmas cookies. My mother was torturing me. I couldn't answer honestly. But what are you looking forward to most as a holiday snack treat?
Well, I wish you said this is going to be on YouTube eventually.
Probably, yes.
Because I'll have to send this to my mother-in-law because I wish she was watching right now. It'd be some good points for me. But she makes these peanut butter balls that I don't know how she does it.
Dipped in chocolate?
Yeah.
The Buckeyes.
But hers are better than everyone else's, I'll tell you that. Cheryl, I love them.
I think my grandma could give your mother-in-law a run for her money.
I don't.
Because that was my answer. You can't go wrong with the Buckeye.
No, and I get them once a year, and I don't know if they're coming down this year for Christmas, but she promised me she'd send me a care package because she knows I love them. So
nice. I also can't. You can't beat the Santa cookie. There's just something. My great grandmother had this great Santa cookie recipe, coconut for the beard. Made it interesting.
Sure.
Yeah. Coach?
I gotta say, I don't know what they're called, but it's a little circle pretzel with a Hershey hug in the middle and pressed down with a little M&M or something along those lines, or a walnut. Those are my favorite Christmas treat, I think, by far. Outstanding.
I'll buy that. The other options I had in class today were the white trash truffle, which is evidently crushed Oreos with white chocolate. Sounds delicious, and I thought the name was tremendous.
Yeah.
Perfect. Loved it. So there you have it, the favorite holiday treats we're all looking forward to. Until next time.
Well, Winter Wonderland.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
We can't forget. My apologies. Do want to let everyone know that Saturday night, the boys and girls basketball team will be working at the Winter Wonderland.
Yeah.
This is my reminder to my team because I forgot to tell them.
If you're a girls basketball player, this is the first you're hearing of this. What time do they need to be there, Coach?
Oh, they'll find out tomorrow. So
yes, feel free to stop by the Winter Wonderland, see the boys and girls basketball team. Not a fundraiser of any kind, just some community service to get the kids out and teach them the value of giving back to their community. So a wonderful project by both of you guys, and I commend you for doing that. So for another week, Coach, you're now a veteran. You've been through 2 of these.
Sure.
You're no longer a rookie.
I'm always a
Coach
rookie.
Bowman. So for another week, I think we can safely say go Raiders, and I wish both of you luck in the next few weeks.
That's right. Thank you much.
All right.